one is 6:30. We can all get everybody home at a decent time. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. First item is the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Everybody has a copy of the agenda on the council. I'm going to make a couple of amendments here really quick because I've got some information since I circulated this agenda. First of all, we have a new council member. After our last meeting, we had a resignation from the council, and Denny Palmer has been appointed to fill that vacancy. So we want to welcome Denny and say we look forward to working with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so we'll, on the list down here where we go through the council people, we're going to add Denny in there so you have time to address anything that you want to.
Okay.
And then I wanted to make note for everybody in attendance today, the public comment section. I have added this to the agenda. You can anticipate the public comment section being in the agenda at our meetings. However, tonight, because it's a special session, we did limit to 2 minutes each, no more than 15 minutes total, because we are anticipate holding some employees over, and we need to get through and make sure we don't get them out of here at a godly hour. So normally that will probably be more open-ended, but for tonight we'll place a limit on it. Let's see here. And then I have the project list here from Indiana Region 15. I got that afterwards, and we'll address that in new business as well. All right. Because it's a special session, I wasn't sure if we were going to have minutes to approve. I didn't circulate any. Did we have any to circulate?
They're not finished yet.
Okay. Well, we'll address those in our next regular session then. So, and then let's see. Everybody's got a copy of the water well property sale consent, and then we had the proposed 2027 budget from last time. I've got a copy of that here. If anybody needs to see it again, we can take a look at that since that's our agenda to address. So I'll take a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we've got those adopted. And then under new business, the resignation we had after the last meeting was the council president. So we have a vacancy in that position at this time. Since that time, I've been acting president of the council, as I was elected vice president at the last meeting. So at this time, I'll open the floor to nominations for president of council to fulfill the remainder of the 2026 term.
I'd like to nominate Chris.
Me?
Yeah.
Any other nominations? All right, I have a nomination for Chris Coyle to fill the 2026 vacancy as president of the council.
I'll second that.
There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, chair abstains. So, thank you all, appreciate that. So in doing so, we now have a vacancy as in the council vice presidency. So I'll open the floor now for nominations for vice president of the council for the remainder of 2026.
I nominate Roger Fella.
We've got Roger Feller.
I'll second that.
I got a second. Any other nominations? Okay, all those in favor of Roger filling the vice president's vacancy?
Aye.
All right, congratulations, Roger. Okay, next item on the budget, or next item on the agenda was the town budget that for 2027 that was circulated last time that we kind of tabled. We didn't take a vote on it. Since then, I had some questions. Saffron, at the last meeting, there was a mention of a September due date for submission of this to the state, and I wanted to make sure we addressed this.
You have to submit the Form 3, which is the publication, by September 6th in order to meet the deadline. The spacing between when there's it's for the public to see, and they've got to view it before the next following meeting that you then would have to vote and accept it by the council before the state deadline in November, which doesn't extend to the November meeting date.
Right, because I think it's what, the 1st or 3rd of November? Is that
It was the 3rd.
3rd?
So there's two different layers of this, and you have to notify via, now you don't have to post it in the newspaper, but,
You put it on Gateway, and that's the
Yes.
public notification.
and then, you vote, so we're actually voting on the
Preliminary budget
preliminary.
to make it available to the public.
So can we still make changes to that before we finalize it?
What you post to the public is what you vote on. Not to say that there's not.
I think that's right, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking November 1st was the deadline on, but Chris, on this, if I remember correctly, we have to open this up to a public meeting, look at the budget, and then shut it, and then open this meeting back up again. That's where there's
I
always,
think we do that in October, don't we?
okay, so that's, I
That's-
wasn't,
The next meeting, I
The
think.
next, the September town meeting would be the public one.
Yeah,
And then the October is where the town council votes
Got
to
it.
close it.
yeah,
trying to remember the succession on that.
yeah.
And I think the deadline on that October is no later than the 24th of October. What I found online was correct. Something
I don't know.
Okay. So now we have to, at this meeting, we need to vote on publication of what you said, Form 3.
Yeah, Form 3, what it's called.
So we'd be considered, that would place us in line to consider what we have here. I think the budget top line is 167.59.
Saffron, did we ask for more money this year, or just accept what we've been getting? I think there was a 6% limit, if I remember, this year. Every year changes.
Didn't ask for any more money.
Okay.
When I asked for more money, they cut it $40,000.
Well, but, yeah, okay.
It's my understanding we're $2,700 short
Yes,
on the budget.
yes.
So I think there was some talk of moving some of the money from the utilities or increasing the amount that could be transferred from utilities.
So,
And
yeah.
that is to satisfy the current budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in order for the amount that we're, the 216,759 to not go less, we would have to come up with something to increase the town money.
And we've got,
Otherwise, it'll go down. It'll go down to 2,700 because we can't show that we can support it.
and we have until the end of the year to make that adjustment.
Yes. I have a copy of the current ordinance that's got the utility amount, if you want to do that, probably the easiest way.
So we already, here's a copy of that ordinance. We already take all that money from the utilities
Yes.
to add to our budget now.
We do it in monthly increments, so by the end of the year, that's the total that comes from each one, yes.
So I printed that.
So have you got a suggestion on where you want to raise that, on a little bit on all of them, or one specific?
I would suggest a little bit on all of them. We don't need a whole lot.
I was thinking we're always kind of short in water and wastewater.
Wastewaters, we don't really make money in wastewater, because all we do is send it to Tell City, so it's, and then we pay the rate that they charge us to process it. So
Because
it's
this one,
not a moneymaker.
this one says we're taking 5,000 out of wastewater and 15,000 out of water. Where we all know electric's our biggest strong point as far as financial. So, I guess the question is, can we just take, rearrange that and write a new ordinance?
I think amend this ordinance for the amounts is my suggestion.
I think that's our best interest. What do you think?
Yeah. Definitely don't want to do anything to knock it
Yeah.
in our budget next year, considering we don't have a whole lot to work with to begin with.
Right. So this one we got till the end of the year, so we're okay to make changes on that for next year's budget.
Any further questions on, or comments on that item? All right, so I guess we'll get, trying to think of how to phrase this correctly. We need a motion, yeah, but
I'm gonna ask Chris a question first. So, on this budget currently, there was several salaries that almost doubled, and the rate studies was not reviewed. Will that affect anything? Because, the rate studies control all of that,
Rate studies, you mean
for the utilities.
utility rate studies?
Mhm.
Well, I assume they're just assuming this, it's gonna stay the same.
So what
The rate.
happens if you put out more salaries than you do the rate study allows, then it starts eating itself up.
It does.
This budget is for the town, not the utilities. The rate studies are for the utilities, so those are separate things.
Yes, I
Nothing on
understand
the
that.
town budget was increased as far as the salaries from the previous year. The only thing coming out of town is the council salary, the street superintendent, and a portion of the clerk treasurer's salary. And there is an appropriation for the marshal salary, but it's there so that it stays active, even though we don't actually have a marshal.
And
The deputy clerk.
The deputy, I'm sorry, that's, utility clerk Crystal is also listed as part of the deputy clerk. The state board informed me as part of it. It assists with the internal control, so she's allowed to do some of the checking. Yes, double checking on my work, redoing her work. So someone has to be able to approve things, like when I'm loading up all of the minutes and the financials and everything into Gateway, somebody else can go in and review it, so it's not just one person handling it. That's why that was added from 1 year to the next.
And on the marshal salary, you said there is a subscription of some description,
Yes.
not to unintentionally rhyme there, but that you're paying out of the marshal salary?
Marshal supplies, that comes out of the marshal supplies. I don't know the technical term for it, but whenever you pull somebody over and they're online, if they get on and they can record tickets and things like that, it's basically their record keeping, and we do have to keep that active with the records. And that costs us almost $1,500 per year at this time. It increased a little bit from last year to this year.
So, in looking at 21, 22, 23, and 24, prior to the one that you gave us, there's several salaries that increased that needs to be looked at.
Out of
From-
the town money?
Mhm. I thought,
I wasn't here in those years, so. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. So anyway, I guess when it comes around to me, we'll just talk about rate studies then.
Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah. So we need a motion to allow Saffron to go ahead and publish that form so we can begin this budget process.
Make motion.
Motion. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, and then we're going to address the next item on the agenda is the town attorney vacancy. We've got Chris Goffman here tonight. After talking with Chris, he has agreed to return as the town attorney. And I'll just say that I think this is the most prudent course of action for us. His history and familiarity with the town would be a great asset in this position. And then if and when he does decide to step away sometime years down the road, we can plan for a more orderly transition to a new town attorney and kind of manage that handoff so it's done orderly and we don't have a lot of disruptions. Any comments or questions?
We have to approve that.
Yes.
Won't hurt my feelings if you don't.
All right, so I'll take a motion to appoint Chris Goffman as town attorney.
I second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Chris, and welcome back.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda, we had the Munier property where our water boil's on, the consent to sell. You all have a copy of that. We kind of looked over it last time, wanted to gather some more information on it. I have sent you some personal networking and resources that I have available to me. I think everything pretty much looks in order, in my opinion, but I have added one whereas statement on page 1 there. It's highlighted in green in your printed copies. It says, whereas as of the date of this consent, the town of Troy is in good standing and full compliance and satisfaction with all terms and conditions of the exercise option of lease in accordance with the amended option having commencement date as of June 20, 1990. Is that okay?
Yeah, just for y'all's information, I represent the estate that's handling that sale, so if you have any questions, I'd be happy to
Who's handling it?
answer. Pardon me?
Who's handling it?
I'm handling the estate, yeah. So that, in order to sell the land, the lease continues on, obviously, with no change, but, and I don't fully understand why, since the lease continues on, but there is a provision in there that the town has to consent to the sale, even though the lease continues on, so that's what we're asking for. But your language is certainly fine, because you are in compliance.
Okay.
And all payments have been made, so.
Okay. And this is just basically for public and for everybody else. Added this in here, so we've had, by all accounts, a good working relationship with you and your family. But future property owners, this just confirms that the town is in good compliance, so we don't have on down the line somebody come back and say, want to reopen and examine payments were made in like 91 or something like that. So it limits the county exposure a little bit there. So, any questions or comments on that?
I don't know where this property is. I mean, there's a
It
description.
is behind CNS.
Okay.
Down the
They're
river
behind
Down in
bottom.
the field.
Yeah.
It's in the river bottoms back there. It's
I
where we
figured
have
since the
our
CNS
two-
got the tanks buried back there.
Yeah, we have 2 water wells back there that supply the town.
Is this common, Chris, for us not to know who's buying it?
It's not a secret.
Well, I
But
mean,
I don't
it's
know who
not-
it is. I don't remember,
know-
but it's not a secret.
my point being, if it's an individual just doing a local investment, or, if it's a
It'll
business.
be, the plan is to continue to farm it like it's farmed now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Same,
wasn't
same
sure.
farmers and everything. Or-
No, it'll be a different, the person who's buying it, I believe, will do their own farm. So the
I
current,
will need their contact information. and everything
Absolutely.
for my wellhead protection
Yep.
stuff, so I gotta update all
I'll
that.
make a note to get to that to you.
I just want to make sure it wasn't some big,
Yeah, if they're
Yeah,
just-
it's not, nobody's planning on putting anything down there, it's strictly farming.
just thought I'd ask. I didn't see it anywhere in here.
That's a good question.
And I'll get you the contact information. Sorry, I don't have it on my
Yeah,
head.
you're fine.
Any other questions or comments on this? I'll take a motion to approve this sale, or approve the signing of this document, I should say.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a motion? And a second? Second. Roger seconds. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
So I can notarize that after y'all sign it.
And then we've got still before us this proposed master service agreement with Tell City Electric Department. This is quite a bit to digest. I shared this with all of you in email, and I have one copy of it here. Is this? Tell City's obviously sent this down, so they're wanting us to consider it. There are, I'll just discuss my concerns. And I'll share this with guys with email. I just forgot to email it to you earlier today because I got busy at the end of the day. I wanted to make sure we had all of our copies and everything. Their proposed contract is, there was the term was for 5 years with an automatic renewal of 5-year terms. So after 5 years, if we didn't opt out, we would renew again for 5 years. That's pretty lengthy. There's different things you can do here. Some of the markups I've made so far would be make that a 24-month term with an automatic renewal of 12-month terms. And then build in, that the only way out of the contract was, to not renew at the end of those terms. So, in my edits that I'm working on currently, it proposed a termination for convenience with 90-day notice. So we could opt out at any time. And this is a contract negotiation, so, they've given us pretty much, I think, everything that they could ask for, so I'm sure they'll expect us to come back with things more favorable to us. And then I didn't notice any performance metrics here. No minimum time to respond to anything. So I did add one phrase. This probably needs to be built out a little bit more performance metric of, in the event of electric service loss to the town or any part of it, they'd have a 90-minute response time they'd be held to as part of the contract. Obviously, we still would have to discuss, what payment terms and things like that. We've got a vacancy in our electric department currently. We don't have a lineman. And we've got several options on the table as to how we want to address this. I just wanted to open up to, I don't think we're going to do anything dispositive with this tonight, but wanted to open it up and that way we can discuss any ideas or options that you all identify.
So it was my comment. I still feel we need to talk to the employees and make our decisions based on those.
Have there been any input from the employees?
We are also new that we haven't had the opportunity yet.
So the two options presented, I mean, there's no way to continue the present agreement.
Right now, we just have if you need them, they call them, they charge us an hourly rate depending if it's business hours or after hours.
Is that an option?
Option, well, what that does not include is maintenance. If we call them, they'll show up for
Okay.
assistance or something. It's more than what we can handle. The difference with the options they sent, option one had time and materials with maintenance,
Right.
and the other one was this 5-year service agreement, which I feel is excessive. It's way more than what Troy needs.
I think so too.
Yeah.
That $40 a day for standby fee, right? Isn't that what it says? It's
Yeah.
$1,200 a month.
Yeah.
That's,
And that would be your call out pay. So if we need them, we call them, they're called out to that.
yeah. But we pay it regardless.
I think part of it also depends on how quickly someone's hired for the town employee.
And you went to an IMPA meeting, right?
No, mine's Friday.
Okay,
Yeah.
because don't they post for that position? Won't they put a post out?
They will if we ask them to,
Yes. I guess that's part of your plans, huh?
if that's what we decide.
Beyond this kind of ad hoc, we call them and they show up, that's not a written agreement, is it? That's just kind of a handshake agreement that we have with them, and we've agreed on paying them certain rates, but there's no actual contract like this
There's not
involved.
a contract. The previous board had signed like the rates, like the agreement to those, so whatever those rates were at the time.
If
It's
I'm
a
not
rate agreement.
not mistaken, I think that was signed by our town manager, and we no longer have a town
No,
manager.
it came up again after that.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
So, but in reviewing that, I didn't see any terms, conditions,
No.
anything on that.
No,
So
it's just if we call them and say, hey, I need your help right now, and it's middle of the day, they're charging a certain amount, and we'll charge for the equipment, depending on what equipment is needed.
That's pretty standard for electric companies. They charge, it's a mutual aid agreement. They just charge, I'm sure they charge the same rate to anybody else they'd help out, accountant or whatever. That's an emergency thing. Like you said, it's not maintenance, and you need a lineman for that, and we don't have one.
did you get a copy of this previously?
It was emailed to me,
I emailed it to him, he
when was
responded
that,
back.
June or July or something like that.
He responded back, he saw no issues with it.
Yeah, from a legal perspective, not a lot of issues, but I don't disagree that 5 years is a lot. And you should, if your expectation is you're gonna hire somebody, then we need to at least have a right to terminate for convenience if you do get somebody. Because it would be the expectation of the line person you hire that they'll do the maintenance on it. Right. So, yeah. So you may wanna hold off until you figure out what you wanna do.
This was just that, an opportunity for us to discuss this in this special meeting. That's basically why I put it on here. Because, you know, it requires quite a lengthy discussion, I think, with all the options.
We don't have a deadline as far as deciding.
Not that
that
I've
we
been
know of.
told. That this is, that it just proposed and they're waiting for our response. And
Just not getting any maintenance done.
yeah.
Which, you know, it doesn't take everyday maintenance to do these.
We've been without alignment since the middle of May.
So we have a executive session here towards the end of the agenda to talk with employees, and I've advised by email that those that couldn't attend tonight, we'd set up a separate time to discuss with them. So I think Linda's correct. It'd be, once we get input from the employees and concerns and everything that they have, that we can revisit. So. Any other comments or questions on this one? Okay. And then I've got a item F here, the point of contact for the hazmat plan. To be perfectly honest, I added this on here because I could not remember at the last meeting, we did so much.
Yeah.
I could not remember if we actually addressed that or not, so.
You did, and you made it mean.
Okay.
That was your opportunity to lie and say no.
It's in the minutes.
Y'all over there on that end of the room, don't let her throw anything at me.
I'll get hit
Are
first.
we talking about the ADA? Or are we
No.
talking
No,
about the
the-
hazmat?
Point of
That has-
contact for the hazmat. ADA is something that
Yeah, it's the other one.
wasn't addressed.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
You have that to address?
We can wait.
Okay.
It just needs to be changed.
Okay. And then, next item here, item G, is the blight board. Saffron circulated to all of us by email the ordinance on the blight board. This is something that we tabled from last meeting that I thought maybe we could get through fairly quickly this evening. The way I read the ordinance, the council president is automatically on the blight board. And then I believe I read that is 2 other people as appointed by the council.
Didn't you read it?
I didn't print it.
I didn't.
No, I know that the council president was one that was on there, and I remember there was 2 more, but I don't remember if it was the president or if it was the council.
Yeah, I think as I read it, it's an older ordinance that it's not actually called blight board. It's just commonly referred to as that. I believe it's a council.
Enforcement of building standards is what it's,
Mhm.
the actual ordinance, but yes, it's referred to as that.
And if I remember correctly, that does, since the president oversees it, I mean, even townspeople can be in that position too. It's basically, there was a, like, gathering, everybody went through the town, we wrote everything down, and then just kind of whittled away at the list by priority. That's the way it's been handled in the past. I don't necessarily have to mean it has to be now, but
Do any of the council members want to serve?
I would like to, yes.
Okay. Anybody else?
I'll join her.
All right.
Kristen and Danny.
I don't, let's do it this way, because I'm not sure, but the way I think Saffron interpreted the president appointment, the way I read the older ordinance, it's a council appointment. So, let's just do the council, that way it's kind of official here. I've got, Denny and Kristen as nominated to be on the blight board.
It does say the president of the town council shall serve for a term of 1 year, and one of the original appointees shall serve for a term of 2 years, and the other serve a term of 3 years. But it does say consisting of town council president and 2 members to be appointed by the town council.
Okay. So I'll nominate Denny and Kristen to serve on the blight board.
I second that.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. And then we had Saffron. There's a fly. Saffron circulated email ordinance on a town parks board. I added this to the agenda because at last meeting, Linda and Kristen, you had talked about, you wanted to work together on efforts, for the town parks. I'll defer to you guys. This is just a tool that you all could possibly use to do that. If you think you need it, that's fine. If you don't think you need it, we can table this and move on and bring it back up if you ever decide you do. You guys are,
So I have a question for Chris on this. So Chris, if we decide not to go with the Parks Board and in the formality of that for the Indiana code, and we decide to go with the Troy Association, which we're running into a lot of issues with needing a 501c3. So do we have to do an ordinance to say we're not going to do a Parks Board, or can we just do an association?
Well, we need to look. I may have to get back to you on that. I have
That's what I
separate
was,
questions.
yeah,
Because a Parks Board can't have a 501c3.
right, because it's town.
Yeah, we need that.
So it helps with donations is what they're saying. So some organizations will only donate to a nonprofit, being a 501c3,
Right.
and as a town, we're not, and we can't be.
nothing that would be tax deductible to the
We had to
town.
run all their donations for fireworks, for example, through another organization.
So what Wade would get into here, because under the Parks Board, the town carries the liability. And as an association, we don't want to pay liability. So
No.
what we would do would just be controlling the money. So like fireworks, for example. So the association would just write a check to the town.
Yeah, the Parks Board basically just oversees to make sure that you all, or that board, understands what's going on in the parks and approves of it, and that something crazy's not going on that you don't
So one
want.
of the things we ran into though, Chris, with this is,
I can set up a 501c3 and
that's what, yeah, that was gonna be my next suggestion, but one of the things we ran into with this Parks Board, because it requires, when you get into the Indiana code, it says you're gonna have so many people
yeah, it's in our
from
ordinance.
each political divide, and
Mhm.
when you get into a town this small, it's very hard to pull that many people together, as I've experienced in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, literally, you've got 4 town members.
Yeah.
Plus 2 other ex officios. I mean,
And then you gotta have somebody to record and all that, so.
We just want fireworks, man.
Yeah.
We don't need all that.
We're not required to have a park, to fill the Parks Board, are we?
I'll look at the statute. I mean, the ordinance was passed in accordance with the statute, and I'll look at it, but I don't know that you're required to. But I'll look at it. and
Yes,
make sure.
and if we decide not to, what would be our legal repercussions? What do we need to have
Right.
to oversee us or whatever?
Well, if you don't establish that, then you guys will do it.
That's what I was thinking, that's what we, yeah.
But I'll make sure it's not absolutely required. I mean, obviously,
Okay.
Cal City has a Parks Board, but they're also bigger and have a lot of people to draw from, but
Exactly.
you guys don't, so I get it.
Yeah.
And we may, even if we have one, we may be able to limit the number down a little bit. Instead of having 4, maybe you just have.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if this was written off of Indiana code or if it's somebody,
Yeah, this was passed in 1990, so.
I know, long before.
I wasn't even here then. That was a long time ago.
So anyway, if you would,
I'll make a note to do that.
thank you.
So I'd just hold off, if you will, and I'll get back to you next time.
It was just on here for exactly this discussion. So.
Okay. Thank you.
And then, next time we penciled in here is this, project list from Indiana Region 15. As I understand it, projects that aren't listed here, would not be eligible for grant, but just simply listing this here does not, listing a project here does not guarantee it will receive grant money. It just needs to be on the list in order to be eligible for certain grants. So it's kind of our Troy wish list, if you will.
So also, I think, if I remember from years past, the Region 15, like say a grant comes open, then they'll look through everybody's list they've got and see if there's anything that pertains to them. So it's kind of like dual purpose.
This needs to be
That's
back,
awesome.
this list needs to be returned to Sherry Taylor by 9/17. She said that is a due date for us to make a make a complete list and return it here. We've got several things on the list already, but I would imagine there are things that, being the council's new here, that we have some priorities that we'd like to see on the list. I would definitely list anything we can here for the marshal's position, equipment, the salary itself, anything that we could possibly get there.
And some of these have already been completed.
Yeah, which ones are those?
So like for sure on the bottom, we have a generator for the building.
Yes, we have a small generator.
So
for the
what
office.
about the generator? We need one out there at the
We have one
substation.
at the, water treatment building. We have a portable generator, older.
Is that what would power something out? With
No,
electric?
we don't have anything that could, what we have to power the town in an event like we had back in
Is the
December of 22 is the tie line with Tell City.
So that should, so
That is our backup.
I was trying to figure out which generator they're specifically talking about, because I know we've covered.
I'm not sure on
So that's what I'm saying. I think that's one of the things that can come off.
Zoning ordinance update to include newly annexed area can also be removed, because that was done in 2014.
It's been a minute since this has been updated.
Yes.
Yeah,
What was that?
Under planning, it says zoning ordinance update to include newly annexed area.
Yeah,
That has been taken care of. The ordinance was done. The zoning map was updated in the past 2 years, so that can be removed.
So we do have a 5-year park plan.
When I emailed them back to ask, they said that nothing had been done through them, through Region 15.
No,
So
because
if
we
there's
couldn't
anything that
afford them.
They weren't aware of it.
They charge for everything. So we had an environmental or engineering company do it. So that, and there's also I can get everybody a copy of that. There's also a 5-year plan, and there's also a trail. It's already mapped out and everything on pulling these together. But that was one of the issues that we run into always in the past. Region 15 is always willing to help, but they always want a lot of money.
Most places do.
Yeah, I mean, if you get the grant, they'll take it out of the grant, but if you don't,
Yeah.
I thought there was no charge if you don't get the grant.
for some things, I think that's true.
Yeah, some things, but
You remember, Adam?
I don't remember.
I thought I just read that this evening. There's no charge if you don't get the grant. Okay.
so we can look into that, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they charge. They have fees just like any kind of engineering firm.
Right.
So you kind of look at which one's your best option.
So we're gonna include the marshal's salary and his car.
I would include marshal
And his
equipment to include a
uniforms.
vehicle.
Marshall and accessory.
Speaking of Region 15,
Yes.
the income survey that we had here in Troy came out favorably for Troy. So
Low
we
income.
are low income and we are eligible for the Office of Community and Rural Affairs for grant funding.
Awesome.
So that's gonna be,
That's the first
Big.
time in Troy history.
yeah,
Really? Oh, excellent.
people turn their stuff in, so that's good.
Awesome.
Good.
They're wanting to try to attend the next meeting, so they're supposed to be reaching out to someone.
Perfect.
Yeah, they mentioned that tonight. And the big one is our water improvements. Is what they're focusing on.
So that lift station, are we still don't have the lift station finished? It's on the list. It says sewer improvements, lift station.
Lift stations are done. Now we're just
Yeah,
buying
that's what I thought. That one can come up.
as needed, kind of replacement pumps. Some of our pumps are very old. We've sent some off to get rebuilt. They tell us they're not really
So
rebuilt.
we don't have a backup, basically, is what you're
We
saying.
have some backups. We have one backup for the main lift station. We have a backup for behind the cemetery. And I think the only one I need to buy a backup pump for is behind Meg 2.
So we could just change this to lift station, something. Don't put it complete. They may still. be-
Replacement pumps?
Yeah.
So
And that Troy Rail Yard, that is part of, the reason they put it underneath us, because it's part of the Port Authority, I believe. So that's why that's on there.
I can put, just so we're not on the spot and forget something, I can put this online and share it with all of you and make this a working document. That way we can all go in and add as we need to, and then we can submit by the deadline if they want. So give you a little bit more time to think about it. And
So what is our
brainstorm.
deadline on this?
September 17th.
September 17th. Yeah, I'll set that up and share it with
Our
everybody.
next
so it can
meeting
be,
is when?
you can have an active document.
I'm pretty sure it's September. When is our next meeting? 16th?
16.
It's the day before.
Okay, okay.
Worked out well, didn't it?
Perfect.
We planned that. Let's see here. Oh, so any more questions or comments on that list? Let's see here. Next item was Troy Volunteer Fire Department. Jason's here. So,
We've had no fires to report, since last year. I had a couple calls out. One evening I got called out for a tree on fire near the power lines. And I had a call for a resident burning green limbs. I advised them that they needed to watch it, control the burn, and if the smoke gets too heavy, they need to get put out, or they could be fined. So, training, we've got several guys that have been, I think I've got about 10 on the roster. Got several guys been training with some stuff with Tell City and the county. We're working towards getting a truck set up to where if we have an auto accident down here, we can do extrication or start extrication. Say if something else going on at the north end of the county, we can get started, or if we get called at the county line or something. We've got 3 guys now that are trained to assist in rope rescue for the county.
what kind of timeline are you looking at on the extrication readiness on the vehicle?
Hopefully by the end of the year. I've got some equipment that I've purchased that needs a little bit more stuff.
So is that going to be purely auto extrication, or is there like first aid medical there? I'm not sure what your roster, if you have any EMTs, first responders there.
We do. We don't do any of it. We would have to get set up as a, same as Tell City,
Like a BLS non-transport?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
No, I'm not suggesting that, I was just asking, so.
yeah, we've got several guys on the department that are on the county that do respond too. So,
How many firemen do we have?
10.
And do we have a contract with you guys? Did you sign that
There
contract
was one signed last year.
last year? Okay.
Do we have a copy of that, Chris? Do you?
I'm sure you do. It's an annual contract, so
Annual.
you don't need to
And
be working on it.
Do you have anything additional? Any questions for Jason?
Oh, yeah. Are you gonna be participating in National Night Out with Troy's fire truck?
Possibly.
It's September 1st.
Still kind of up in the air on that.
Okay.
They haven't asked for anything, and they didn't ask for a bounce house. We didn't take it last year.
Yeah.
So,
I forget about that bounce
Lot
house,
of-
yeah.
a lot of hassle.
Yeah, but I mean, just having the fire truck there.
Yeah.
Would be cool.
How many PR events like that does the fire department do a year on average?
Like that.
I'm
Just a couple.
Just Cool. I was gonna say, I saw you down here at the fireworks.
That was, we normally go to the fireworks just in case something happens, but I think they set a truck up this year. I was actually on vacation, but I think somebody took one down there, had it down there in no time. Yeah, we don't want to try to do something during Halloween for trick or treating and National Night Out.
Any other questions related to the fire department? All right, next I've got the utility and street updates. Whoever wants to go first.
I got a couple things. So there is two things that I need to discuss for the water. Sorry. One is the ag pack of the water treatment plant. It is that first page. It's a meter. Ours went out several months ago. We just haven't been able to get one. They finally gave me a price on one and we're able to move forward with it with your approval. It's a meter up at the treatment plant. It's nothing special. It's just a meter. I know that seems like a lot for a meter. There's a lot of water that passes through that treatment plant. And then the second page is the new software that they are proposing for our meter reading. The first line is our actual cost on it. Everything else is a one-time training fee. So I think it says $4,000 for the yearly cost plus a 3% annual increase, which is what we pay now for the software we have. But the software we have is getting a 20% increase at the end of the year. They're trying to phase it out. So either we pay more for what we have, or switch to something else and pay what we're paying now. If that makes sense.
So the increase on the current software would be more than
Yes. So we'd be increasing 20% at the end of the year for the software that we have. Or we can switch to this new software and only upgrade 3% at the first of the year. And I don't know, and I can talk to them and see if we can get a deference on that 3% since we're signing so late in the year, but
nice if they waive that.
yeah, I can figure that out, but I think it'd be better to go 3% rather than 20%.
Good math.
Just my opinion. So.
$1,250 only gets one person trained?
No, they will come in and they will train everybody in this office. If you guys wanted trained on it, you can sit in on it. I mean, they're coming in and they're just gonna sit there and talk, and whoever shows up to listen is gonna listen.
So this particular software, is this what's gonna get us actual, like, what's gonna get us that we don't have?
So it's gonna change things to where, like, loading and unloading the handheld will go from one computer to where it's in the cloud. So where I can do it all from my desk. So if one of the girls isn't there one day, Saffron's covered up, the other girl's real busy, I can just go ahead and load that handheld myself. And I can take off meter reading. And every time I come back to the office and it connects to our network, all my readings get saved. Because we've had several times where that handheld gets deleted while they're trying to unload it, and I gotta go back out and reread everything. That's a day and a half of my time that was just wasted. This
That's
is
a lot of times works in the offices, we sit and we're waiting for IT to call back. It's getting very antiquated out there.
It takes about 3 days to really do meter reading. By the time I get done with my stuff, they get it loaded into Keystone, and we get it all set out. This really, it's not really gonna cut down that time necessarily, but it will make it easier to load and unload the handheld.
So it's better and it costs less.
Yes. Yeah. It's a big advantage.
This is not the system we were talking about that's gonna tell us about water leaks and things like that, is it?
No, I asked them about that. There's nothing we can put on these meters to let us know. The only thing that would be beneficial for finding water leaks is if we went full AMR, and we're not big enough to go AMR. That is where everything auto reads back to here. I don't even have to go out and read them anymore. It all just comes here. The office can shut off a meter from here. They can, basically, it costs a lot of money, and it takes away a lot of time, but.
Put that on your list.
Yeah.
I got it
That
on-
costs a
yeah.
lot. They are doing a study to see what it would cost for us to go AMR, but I don't think it's gonna be beneficial.
I guess my only concern is, we have a lot of water leaks.
We do, and
And
we try to keep up.
when you find out about it 2 months later, when your
We
water
try to
been
keep
running
on up on the best we can, and I'll say this, customers are the main source of finding water leaks. You see something, say something. I mean, I don't know about water standing in your yard unless you tell me about it. I don't go and walk through everybody's yards trying to find these things, 'Cause there could be a water leak right up next to your house. I'm not getting that close because it's a personal privacy thing,
Also, in the current system is when you upload the information, it's a physical plug-in, then you upload it?
So I have a tablet that gathers all the data from the meters, and then we plug it into the computer. And you have to go through like a 10-step process to get it off there. And then you gotta go from there to Keystone and go through and find who had high consumption manually and all that stuff.
And we manually read a report.
It's very time consuming. Which this is not gonna really cut down on that time. But as I show back up to the office, whether I stop in here to get a drink or stop to use the bathroom or something like that, every time my tablet connects to our network, all of my readings automatically go to the cloud. So they could start that process while I'm still reading.
With this being cloud-based, what kind of information is transmitted and stored in the cloud?
I'm not.
The meter number and the readings.
I would think it would just be the meter number, the reading, radio read number.
There's no personal
No.
customer information or anything on that?
There may be an address attached to it, but there would be nothing other than that.
Where you're going with that.
Information security was.
Yeah.
Basic information that
Yeah.
you could go on Google Maps and find,
Okay.
except for meter number and stuff like that. But even if somebody had the meter number, there's nothing they can do with it without our software.
The 3% annual increase in maintenance fee.
Yeah, it's for support, technical support, stuff like that. It's just anytime it's standard across the board. You're gonna find that with any
Yeah.
company you go with on that.
So on this agreement, is this what kind of term is this? It's like a year, calendar year
Yearly.
term?
Yearly. I mean, I'm not 100% on it, but I think we can cancel it at any time. If we decided, hey, we're switching meter companies, I think we can get away from it. I'm not 100% on that. I'd have to do some checking, but
I'm looking at, they've got a terms and conditions hyperlink here that would probably have all that information.
Yeah.
Is there a better water meter?
they're all about the same. I mean, they all measure water. There's nothing special about the meters at all. Doesn't matter who you go with or what it is. Some people like a legitimate dial that they can see spinning. Ours are all digital. It's still the same. The internals are all the same.
So, Saffron on budget on these two items, are we okay on both of them?
I don't have the water numbers in front of me, but that'd be all out of water.
Which we've ordered Water's not one of our strong ones. And neither is sewer, so. But if I remember correctly.
I hate to
Not a
ask
lot
for
of
this much
extra.
money, cause we do have projects that need to be done, but this is also something that needs to be kept up on. We need to, you know, as much as I hate to say it, change with the times, and
Well, you're gonna
I'd
be
hate to see
paying-
a 20% increase
You're
on
gonna be paying more when we.
something that we're paying for. You know, we're gonna be paying the same price we are right now at the first of the year. But if we don't go with this, then we jump 20% from what we are paying.
So what's your timeline on this? When would you like to see this?
I'd like to see it before the first of the year,
That's fair enough.
as soon as possible.
And then on this meter, if we get up there,
That can be done at any time. It's just something I wanted to bring to everybody's attention and show. Nothing has to be done right this second. It's not urgent.
I don't necessarily have a problem with either of these as long as we, you know, the budget will support it.
That's all I have.
Cool. Well, we'll take these under advisement and, maybe address this, a couple weeks when we meet again. Have a better chance to look at it. All right, now we go through the council members. I'm on here. I've got a couple of things that I had a chance just as for information over the weekend. I met briefly with one of the lobbyists for Accelerate Indiana Municipalities, which what used to be called Indiana Association of Cities and Towns. They're an advocacy organization that for obviously cities and towns that advocate for better policies for us with the Indiana legislature. That individual would like to come down and talk with us at some point, lunch or whatever, just to share some information, share some resources that they could possibly have for us. And so that I'll be communicating with you guys on that, but just put a bug in your ear about it right now. That he would like to come down. I think he said he's been trying to contact us, and he was aware that we've had the council turnover. So he actually brought that up to me before I could tell him. So he's a former mayor of Sullivan, I believe.
What was his name?
I got his card in my wallet. His name is Clint Lamb. Lamb. And I'll share his information. I'll email his information to contact information to you all. And then right before I came over here, I got an email from Craig McGowan with Commonwealth Engineers wanting to talk and meet with us to discuss some information on how to move forward on a water project related to the highway project over on 545. Wants to talk about options there, so perhaps that project can continue at some point. Obviously, there was some issues over there, and I'm not aware of all of them. But,
There were some issues,
yeah,
a lot of them.
That's what the income survey for.
Yeah.
So that's why we did the income survey was, that's what that broker money is.
So is Craig with Commonwealth? He's not with the
Yes.
USDA anymore?
Yeah, I
Yeah, he's
didn't
with
know that
Commonwealth.
either.
After the federal job cuts, yes, he went to Commonwealth.
He's
Craig
good,
Lamb?
he's
Oh,
good,
yeah,
actually.
he is the perfect
Craig
fit,
McCown.
perfect fit for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
I
awesome.
worked with Craig for years.
Yeah,
Those
me
guys.
too. We've done a lot of loans with him.
Nice guy.
He was wanting to meet with us in fairly short order in the next couple of weeks. I'll forward that email to you all. It came in right as I was leaving the house to come over here. So we can see if we can work out a date to do that here coming up and see what he has for us. And then I've been dealing with a citizen concern. Amy Edwards over at Main Street Barber has had a sewer issue over there, and perhaps you can shed more information on this. From what she communicated with me, she's had like a sewer backup. She's got a private plumber working on her end, but from what she told me, there may be a concern that she was not hooked back up properly after the highway project.
That's looking like the issue. We've had it cameraed. On camera, we cannot find it. I've emailed the state to see what they say. I don't know. I'm sure their contractor or something took pictures of everything and all the work that they've done. I don't know what the state has going. I have not heard back from them. I plan on reaching back out to the state tomorrow to see where we're at with this, but I've not heard anything back since Friday. That possibility.
Okay.
I can't say definitely right now, but that's kind of what it's looking like. And this is work that was done by the state. We had to pay for a little bit of it, but it was by the state.
But it was their contractor.
Yes.
Okay. That was one of my main questions, is whose contractor was it?
Their contractor did all the work. So.
Walsh Plumbing working with them? Working with Amy?
No, it's Schwartz. Schwartz is actually doing her work. He thought he had found the issue. An old clean out that used to be there was there when he found it. Cut it out, replaced that section, did not fix the issue. So now we're dealing with the state again.
The project.
That's always fun.
The project's a nightmare that never ends.
Yeah.
What possible remediation could be done there
So
to
there,
fix that?
the only two things that I can see right now coming out of this, because I think I know what the state's going to tell us. I kind of gave them an option of, hey, you can contact your contractor to fix this, or, I think they're going to tell us we have to get our contractor to fix it and they'll reimburse. That takes forever. It's going to take forever to get reimbursed for that work. But it does need to be fixed as soon as possible because that is very bad. And Amy's not using toilets at her place right now.
Right.
They're not doing any laundry there, nothing. So it's kind of a bad situation for her.
Yes, it's very.
When did this start?
She's been complaining about sewer backups for several years now. But at the same time, it was before the construction started. I told her it's your responsibility to get a plumber out here to, we don't own your laterals. There's nothing we can do with your laterals. We had cambered that sewer before, no issues on our end. So I think it's a combination of her problem, state's problem now, but we're stuck in the middle of it because our sewer line now. So it's been an ongoing thing for a long time, and I think the state just kind of made it worse. Because the contractor that she has, plumber that she has, he did take a camera down through there and show you pictures. It's just plumb.
So no matter what the state does, it's not gonna fix the problem.
Not until her last few feet get fixed. They will still have to tap her onto our sewer, but until the last few feet of her sewer line gets replaced, there's nothing to do. She's still gonna have the issue.
You don't know when that's supposed to happen.
I do not right now. Like I said, my first full day back to work is gonna be tomorrow. I'm in CDL classes right now. I've been a little preoccupied with that. Yeah. I plan on reaching back out to the state tomorrow and taking care of a few other things.
All right.
Well, obviously, her side would be her responsibility, but
Yes.
if we need to, as the town, advocate for them to.
Push the state
If
along.
that's, yeah, right, if they've made a mistake there, or their contractor's made a mistake, we'll definitely step in and advocate that they fix that quickly,
Yes.
so. All right, thank you for that information, I appreciate it. And that's all I had for mine. Just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention, and then let's see here, I've got Kristen next.
Two quick things. Region 15 is fresh in my mind because I just came from there. So because our income survey was favorable, Jessica Condra and Steve Marchand, they also want to come and talk to us about getting everything together so we can pursue funding for our water projects. And, Linda, I looked it up. We only owe them if, okay, except for just a few, there's only a few exceptions. There's no charge unless the grant is funded. Says so right here.
So do they?
But it
add-
might be our project, I'm not sure.
But do they add the charges in on the grant?
Yeah, if the
Yeah.
grant is successful, then they take their
Makes sense.
money from there.
Like I said,
I know like that they do qualifications, they'll charge for that.
Mm-hmm. But
That's a
for
separate
grant
thing.
writing and-
Yeah, they pay it out of
That's-
the administrative portion of the grant.
Okay, and then the last thing, I think last meeting we talked about a DNR point of contact. His name is Luke Rainey, and I have a number for him. I would like the board to approve me as the point of contact, only because Steve Gillardin has been part of that, the parking lot and the boat ramp and the boat dock since it was put in. And he's got a relationship with Luke, and I have a relationship with Steve. So, that way we can just keep it all right there in the family, and then I'll report to you all.
I'm good with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We need to,
Let's do that official.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm second.
all those in favor?
Official. Or-
That's all I got.
Okay. See here, and I guess next I got Roger.
I have nothing at this time.
All right. And then I got Linda.
So, I believe that we need to speak with our consultants at London Witty about our rate studies. They've obviously not been looked at for the last couple years, and we don't want them to consume. You know, those are set up based on employees' salaries and all of our stuff. We might be fine. We gotta hope that we are, but we might need to make changes. So I think we need to look into bringing them in and all of us talking to them.
How often are rate studies recommended?
I'm sorry.
How often are rate studies recommended?
So rate studies are set up based on your current salaries.
Like, how often are they, like? do
Every
they-
time you change something, salary. So you have to get in with the rate studies and get that changed. So that it's set up on if you haven't made any changes or anything, we're okay. But if the last time we talked to them, I think was 2024. And that was, but that's based on Pooter's salary, based on my salary, based on everything. Those rate studies are. And if you don't change them to your current, then they start eating up your money. And then you're going to be negative in all your accounts. Rate studies control everything in utilities.
You'd also look at it if you're inflation.
Yeah.
Parts and pieces are getting more expensive.
Yeah.
Last
Same
increase
thing.
was done in 2022 for like electric and water.
Yeah, that's when we made that change, is when we had to put all the lines in and stuff.
Yeah.
That had to go with contracts.
Because the electric did increases in the 3-year increments of 22, 23, 24.
Yeah.
Those reports would have came from Robert Reynolds. He's the one that came in and looked at it. There's,
I mean, I was looking at the ordinance, the last time the ordinance had to
Yeah.
increase, actual increase. So it was
Yeah.
22, 23,
that was
24,
due
for
to
the
that big project for electric. You still have to look at all the other ones. And if there's no
electric. The
changes,
water was increased in 2022. That was the last ordinance for
Yeah.
that
And it-
increase.
all those are tied to projects. Yeah. So it doesn't matter. We just need to look at it.
We can get that scheduled. You said this, I'm sorry, the name of it, it's London Witty, it's Witty?
Yeah,
E.
yeah.
Eat.
Yeah, TTE. And the person that's our overall of ours right now that's been taking care of everything, his name is Robert Reynolds. So that's just one of my suggestions. Chris, you and I spoke about cemetery ordinance a couple years back. It's not been changed. This cemetery ordinance is still 7/2/2016, and I think we need to look at that again.
Yeah, you probably ought to pull it out then and share it among yourselves and talk about
Yeah.
any changes you think need to be made, if any.
Yeah.
Maybe
I think you proposed
I'll
one.
go back and look.
If
I
you would
remember
look.
us talking about it. I'll go
Yeah.
back and look and see if I,
I think I'd rather
propose
look at the
something.
proposed one versus the one page that we have now,
okay,
if that's possible.
should be. I never threw anything away.
I think, if I remember from last meeting, there was some concern if you want to in turn,
Yeah, there's a lot of concerns.
yeah, okay.
Okay, the verbiage in it is just a little vague.
Okay.
Um, That's all I have for tonight.
Let's see here. We'll now have, Denny.
I have nothing.
We'll
Yeah,
have,
my name is Dennis. I go by Denny, though. I don't know if anything needs to be, any documents internal here need to be changed.
that would be.
My stage name is Dennis, but I go by Denny.
You're not on any documents yet.
Okay.
It's all
Get it
good.
right.
Saffron, you're up. What do you got?
Something that had been discussed at previous meetings before you guys were board members was, coming up with an ordinance to add a disposal fee for the spring or fall cleanup, just to help offset the costs, because nothing had been done, especially since increases since COVID. Nothing had been taken to the attorney yet, no ordinance had been drafted, it was something that was being talked about. So just bringing that to your attention, continue that discussion.
What kind of cost are you talking about?
They were talking about put a fee, like a one-time fee at the spring and one-time fee in the fall. I think that they were basing off like what Tell City does for their spring cleanup. But I said, I wasn't on the board for those discussions.
Yeah.
So I don't know the details of that, just something that was like tabled and then not carried forward.
So how are you suggesting we charge that fee, put it on our bills
Yes.
or? Okay. Charge it once at the beginning of the year or twice?
I don't know, your turn, I have no idea.
Okay.
No, I
Making a
don't-
note to pull the Tell City ordinance and see what they were looking at, 'cause I had no idea.
I think it was something like, saying like, hey, here's a $10 fee, that's just a couple times a year, whether it was, we wanted to do it once a year or twice a year, depending on, because we do a spring cleanup in April, and we do a fall cleanup in October. So if you put a fee on there in April, so that way if someone's not a resident in April, it's not just once a year, put it on there and
Makes
not
sense.
fall, for anybody that's got a bill that's in the fall.
I'll pull that ordinance and send it to Chris, and you can forward it on to everybody to take a look at. Or send me everybody's email and I'll send it to you directly.
I will do both.
Just keep in mind, when I send you guys emails, you can't respond. Under open door laws, you gotta have those discussions in public, so don't just start an email chain and start spinning things around, because you're not allowed to do that.
Got it under
Even in
control.
complete innocence, which is often the case,
Right.
we can't do that, so.
Saffron, do you have anything else?
Yep.
All right. Next one was old business, but we have very efficiently gone through old business and news business at the same time. So. All right, correspondence, I had none other than the Craig McGowan email. Let's see here. Now we've got public comments on our list here. Thank you. All right, first I got Jane Hayes.
Real quick, Mike, thank you for the trash cans. It seems to be working out. We've got to pick up way less trash. I was wondering the status of our website. It seems to have been dismantled in some fashion. The town's website.
Is there,
There's no minutes, there's nothing, there's
The
nothing.
minutes are not ADA compliant on
I
the
know
website,
that.
so I don't, they won't, and I'm not required to put them up there, so I'm not going to.
What about the rest of everything else?
I didn't make any other changes, so I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Okay, I'll check into that.
Okay, yeah.
if you let me know what,
I will, I'll
which,
peruse it.
Yeah.
And one last thing, what is our status on relationship with PCDC?
that is something that we have on the to-do list to address. Obviously, we've got, several entities gonna want to talk to us. I didn't do it in the special session tonight, but it was my intent to invite their representative to speak with us in the very near future.
Okay.
Because we need all the grant, networking and grant writing help and everything that we can get. So it was my intent to invite them to speak to us in the very near future.
But as of right now, we have no relationship
Not
with
that
them.
I'm aware of.
There's no contract, there's no commitment,
We're not.
because they weren't doing anything for us, but continued to bill us. So they expected us to pay a bill without any results. When I asked for the details of what they did, they
Who made
never
that
provided them.
decision?
The town council.
Did they?
I
I don't either, and I watched all the meetings, so, okay, so you're
What-
looking into that.
Well, we have a new group, obviously. It's an opportunity to reset several relationships, and that's one of them that we're working on.
Okay, and thank you, that's all I have.
All right, Kathy Hoff? No, all right. Adam Hoff? All right. Silas Zoe? All right. Have we just gone so long, we've worn you all out? Is that what's going on? Jade? Jade, pronounce your last name for me, because I know I'm gonna butcher it if I try.
Easton.
Easton, I would,
Stan.
I was right, I would have.
I take high stand too, I asked for those.
Said
Okay.
it wrong the whole time.
Last name Jarvis.
Charmin.
Jarman, okay, I wanted to make sure I was gonna pronounce it correct.
Well, a quick question first for Mr. Lenny. You mentioned the person that had a fire burning limbs and such. Was this in the town limits or outside, or? I thought there was no burning in town even allowed, or if you did, you had to get a burning permit from you. That's how it used to be. I don't know if it's changed.
I was never told that when it changed over, so I don't know for sure on that. It was, trying to think of the street name there, right across from KK warehouse,
Fisher's
Fisher Street.
Street.
Yeah. So I would say that
I was
is,
the one that called you on it.
Yeah. I'd say it
And
is
the whole
in town
town's
limits,
smoked up.
but
Was that with that buzzing?
I believe the state says that you can open burn clean wood products or clean paper products, just not trash.
Okay.
And the only thing I caught them was green limbs from storm damage that they were burning.
Okay. Years ago, I remember, I think my husband actually bought a permit and we burned some leftover flood wood from the river when it, but I mean, that's been probably 30 years ago, so.
We do have an ordinance on open burning.
Yes. That's been-
Open burning of all fires of any kind located within the town. It's defined as open burning, and open burning is prohibited in the town except for a few things: cooking outside, school pep rallies, fire training for the fire department, and a permit by the town council. So,
Are you allowed to have a fire pit?
yes, yes.
Okay, so you
Yes.
can have a fire pit.
Yes.
No.
You wrote a letter.
I do that all the time.
He did have a circle area of rocks as a fire pit, and that's where he had everything in.
Technically, the ordinance doesn't say fire pits are okay, but I can't imagine anybody complaining about a fire pit.
So if we have a disposal site, why would we be burning it? Maybe.
They were done by the time I made it there. By the time I got the call made there, they was throwing their last like 2 limbs on it.
Anything else?
Yep, no, that's good, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, thank you all, and like I said, we'll have more time in our regularly scheduled sessions for public comment. We just limited it tonight. All right, we do have some employee relations things to deal with in executive session. I do not anticipate there will be any action taken after this. I don't think there's gonna be any votes coming out of this, so just wanted to let you all know if you need to get home. This is just employee relations matter and information that we're gonna go into executive session for. We'll need to come out of the executive session in order to formally adjourn the meeting publicly, but I don't think we're gonna take any more actions tonight. I will take a motion to go to executive session.
Second.
Second, all those in favor?
I,
Thank you.
If you wanna sign that stuff, I can notarize it real quick. Then,
You guys have to leave me for anything else, do you?
I don't think so.
Welcome.
Thank you.
kill it now. I'm gonna talk about